Okay, we now welcome a very, very special guest, Barstool's official announcer for the Red Sox and Patriots, doing play by play and some extra colorful commentary. Hogdale, thanks for coming on today.
No problem, brother. Anytime. Nice to. Thanks for inviting me on.
Of course, of course. We got you on at the perfect time as the Sox are in the midst of a 40-game run of being the best team in baseball, launching themselves into playoff contention and out of being the laughing stock of baseball for a myriad of reasons. It's magical vibes and a team that doesn't say die. So to start off, can you sort of fill in the gaps and further contextualize the run that this team's on to some of your favorite players and moments and storylines from the whole thing?
I mean, to contextualize it, I think Jared Carrabis had it best. Like he said that this is like if like the 2012 Sox and the 13 Sox were in the same season. I think that's an extremely apt comparison. They were 14 games under 500 3 months into the season. Like they just lost 2 or 3 to the worst team in baseball, the Rockies, and then they just
And
decided.
in horrible fashion too, just
Oh, it's
absolutely abysmal.
game broke me. Like if you go back and like watch like my video recap of like that Rockies game where they blew it in the ninth, I'm literally laughing like I'm the fucking Joker. Just like, borderline laughing myself into tears because of how funny it was getting, like how bad they were. And they just kind of decided that they were just never going to lose. I think they've lost maybe 5 times since that series, like if not maybe like six. It's absurd.
Yeah, the word you use, funny, it's crazy with all, like, the storylines off the field and just, like, the ways in which they would lose. The team was so funnily bad, and then what's even crazier is now, like, the way that they're winning is just like the back to back to back home runs and, like, all of like, just so much stuff is going on. It's a laugh out loud funny, like, the ways that they're winning now. So building off of what you said, you alluded to Carrabis, we talked about Section 10 before. There's so much. One of my favorite parts of this run is obviously not only like the historic nature of it, but like the content that comes out of it, whether you're waking up after a series dub and you're tuning into the horns on the 10, or like the Ness and booth cams have been unreal. You wake up and you scroll on Twitter for there's new stats every day. Aside from your own calls, what has been your favorite part of this run from a content aspect of it?
Oh yeah, like you said, the Nesson cameras are great. Will Fleming on the radio broadcast has just
He's
been
so
killing
fun.
it, and he's just been killing it. That's a guy I love, look up to. I text him semi frequently. That's like one of my "Oh, let me flex for a second," you know.
That's worth
Yeah,
it. Always the man.
but like yeah, man, like it's been interesting. I was talking to this the other day with my friend Ed Hand, another Sox content creator guy. He was like, I don't know if there's any more like more of a concentration of talented people like per fan base than in the Red Sox fan base. There are so many people online like they're extremely talented that make Red Sox content, not just like exclusively covering the team. Like so many accounts that like are big in the baseball space are also just Red Sox fans. Like Hall of pretty good. That guy's a Red Sox fan. He's actually a fan of mine. He reached out to me. Like a lot of the MLB admins are Sox fans. They're usually making Section 10 references.
Yeah, no, that's always awesome.
It's absurd. It seems like every there's like a 60% chance if like there's a talented person in the baseball space, they're a Sox fan.
I love that take. That's so funny. Yeah, it's just unreal. Every day, wake up, scroll, it's just like euphoria and repeat. It's awesome. Getting topical here. The deadline. What were your thoughts? We'll do it on the pizza scale for Craig Breslow in Barstool fashion. Overall deadline, and then sort of taking into account what it is in regards to Curtis Mead as a whole, and then how he did on deadline day, knowing that Curtis Mead is maybe out of the picture.
I mean, I liked the Curtis Mead deal, even
I
when it
loved
had.
it too. Yeah.
It's a shame that after 2 at bats, he got hit on the wrist by some joker, and like now he's out till probably mid September. But I like that deal, and yeah, I like that Craig was. He was like, okay, yeah, I made this deal, but I'm not going to use that as a reason to sit on my hands and do nothing. I like the Adley deal. I think it significantly improves you at the catcher position. I like the Eric Miller deal. The bullpen right now, like when you look at it's absurd. The worst arm in the bullpen is Greg Weiser. And Greg Weiser is not a bad reliever. He's a bad high leverage reliever. He's a low leverage reliever, but he's not a bad low leverage reliever. That's fine. If you're throwing Greg Weiser out in the fifth, sixth, or like low leverage seventh where you're up by 4 runs, you don't hate that. Like legitimately, especially like, consider Crochet comes back, and if he can't be a starter, he's a reliever. And then you have a bullpen of Chapman. Miller, Slayton, Whitlock, Guerrero, uh,
Giovanni.
yeah, Giovanni Moran. Like, dude, it's absurd. It's like six guys. Like that's six guys that you
It
can
is.
go.
I don't
Like
know.
you,
Did you say Bayo too? Just unreal.
you would say Bayo. No, like Bayo. That's seven guys. It's absurd. It doesn't make. But in the playoffs, they need a starter to go like 3 innings.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I mean, it feels that way right now. Like when you're getting to the fourth, fifth inning, if it's like a 2-run lead, it's like, all right, like we just need to hold on to this a little bit longer and we're home.
No, like game. I remember game one against the White Sox. They ended up winning it by a billion. Like they scored 5 runs in the first. I'm like, game's over. This
Yeah,
is so nice. I could just go into cruise control and hang out the rest of the game. And I cannot stress enough how earlier in the season, how the opposite happened all the time, every
so
night.
true.
Down by like 2 runs in the first. It's like, it's over. They're not coming back. They're worthless. Nothing we can do here. And now I just don't understand the turnaround in that. Like, it's like they taught themselves how to manufacture runs on the fly. Like with the sack bunts, with, batting guys in with sack flies, with fielders' choices. Like they weren't doing that earlier in the year. They were just striking out in those situations.
Yeah, it's. I mean, on the fly. I don't necessarily have any strong opinions on it, but it makes you ask questions about what this coaching staff was doing before and what they're doing now to sort of change the identity of this team. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Why, definitely, yeah. I mean, you have any idea how long people like were victory lapping me for a take that wasn't even worth victory lapping over? When I'm like, yeah, Cora is a problem. I never said he was the problem, but I'm like, he is definitely a problem. And like, yeah, I don't know. Pete Fatsy's gone, and it seems like these guys are all of them are hitting much better on average. Like,
Yeah.
except maybe like Jaron Duran, but he was terrible before. Like when Cora was here now, and he's fine. Maybe he's starting to figure it out now. He looked good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're seeing flashes. I mean, if he could turn it on down the stretch, that would be insane.
just
That would be
like
special.
the version of him from last year when he was a
Yeah.
four-role player. If you do that, like that is eons better than what we've been
Oh,
getting.
for real.
It's the difference between a black hole and a competent player. And like they changed that just by from going from Meyer and whoever else was there, Mickey Gasper in the infield and like DHing and playing at second. Like
And we
just
were excited about it. We were like, wow, this guy's bringing it.
yeah, all of a sudden you bring up like Anthony Siegler or like Nick Sogar. These guys are league average hitters. These guys are not special, but they're not black holes. Like they give you responsible at bats, and that's really all this team needs.
Yeah, Sogi's been doing a job the last week or so. It's been awesome to watch. Wrapping up the bow and the bullpen. Just to like illustrate it, like I've got all these questions written down for you, and then one of them it just says bullpen because it's like it speaks for itself. It's unreal. It's so fun to watch.
It's just easy.
Um,
There, it really is. It's like you said. You get a lead like anywhere past the fifth, and you just feel like it's over.
yeah,
Like
it's
like last night, like a Guerrero to Slayton to Moran because they tacked on. They didn't even need Chapman. Where it's there's so many of a mix of these guys where you just throw them out there and you feel so comfortable. Someone like put up the comparisons of on pages. I think the lowest expected ERA of all of them is like mid threes. Like it's absurd. Like they're all
it is. I saw that post too. It was a lot of blood. It was a bloodbath in there.
very, very bloody savant.
Yeah. I'm gonna go through some guys here because definitely one of the leading headlines of this team right now is what it could look like come October and all the different variations of it because of who we don't have right now. So I'm gonna go through some guys. You tell me the percent chance in your head that we see these guys at some point the rest of the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. We'll start with Roman.
100%. He's coming back.
100%. And this is obviously given no setbacks.
I think we'll get with the setbacks thing. Like, we're finally getting nothing but good updates. He's taking BP now. After it's like, oh, it's just 20 swings a day. Now it's progressed to full BP.
Going back to the content real quick, the edits of Chad Tracy giving the updates, and it's like, what is it? Oh, it's the Tai Lung has returned. It's just
Yeah, I saw that
goosebumps.
one. That was so good.
Yeah, and then he did the same. They did the same thing. I think it was Sadan Rafaela Enjoyer did the same thing with the Garrett Crochet update. So just
The
electric.
Red Sox have been playing this well. They don't have their two best players.
I know.
Roman and Crochet are their two best players. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Next name. Tell me what you think about Curtis Mead.
Oh, I think he does come back. Obviously, that is like, because this Red Sox medical staff, they make me think harmful things.
Yeah, makes
I'm
me
assuming
nervous.
if the timetable is correct, he should be coming back. 'Cause I think, like, the earliest he'd be due back is, like, September 9th, and then he'd probably have, like, a rehab stint around that time. So, I'd say it's, like, 65% he comes back.
Here's an interesting one, not on the injury side. What would you put the percentage chance at that we see Franklin Arias this year?
I just, like, I have no reason to think he's gonna cool down, and maybe I'm being optimistic. I'm going 80%. Give me 80%.
Yeah, I feel like because there's you can fill in the gaps if I'm missing anything, but there's the way the rules work next year. Obviously, the lockout is coming, and when the lockout happens, all of the major league players will not have access to the facilities. The teams won't have access to them, but the minor league runs as per usual. And so, calling up Franklin Arias for the stretch run when maybe you can make the argument he's not ready. He obviously looks so much more ready than like a Marcelo Meyer when you were having that conversation. So you don't necessarily want to stunt his growth, but at the same time, if Breslow's coming out and saying there's a chance, he's doing that for a reason. So I would love to see him up.
If you can win the World Series, I don't care. You know, like,
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
The American League is terrible. You need to put your best team out there. You just do.
Yeah, there's almost I mean, you could almost say it's almost a similar philosophy to the idea of, like, trading prospects for, Adley Rutschman right now and potentially losing the deal is like the opportunity cost of taking or bringing up Arias right now, and maybe you bring in the risk of, like, stunting his growth a hair, but at the same time, like, we're competing for a World Series right now in this moment, and that's not something you can always just do.
No, you don't know when an opportunity like this is gonna fall to you. What like, the American League is probably never gonna be this week ever again. Like,
Yeah,
this American League fucking blows. It's
it is unreal.
Yeah, it's the Tampa Bay Rays who like, the Rays have had plenty of great regular seasons where the Red Sox have gone to the playoffs. 2021 this happened, met them in the division series, everyone favored the Rays, and the Sox were the ones who came out on top. I can easily see that happening again.
Yeah,
The New York
100%.
Yankees, give me a break.
Well, I mean, if the playoffs started today and we faced off against the Rays, I don't even know if we would be the underdog with where things are
Right
at
now?
right now. Yeah,
Yeah, not a
it
it's
is
not
crazy. Uh, next question. Let's go through real quick and try to project the playoff roster because when I put together these lineups in my head, and what the roster might look like. We have so much depth that at times, like I find myself like shocked at some of the names that you're forced to leave off the list. So taking into account who you think will be there, given injuries and all of that, we got 13 position players, assuming it's a normal 26-man roster. What does that lineup look like, and who are your four guys off the bench?
I mean, if I'm thinking about it right now, based on who I think's available, Roman Anthony is gonna be leading off in left field. That's my one hitter. And the two, I think Curtis Mead's going to be back. I think he'll be in the two, and he will be playing second base. So Mead in the two, and they like doing the lefty righty lefty thing. So I
Mhm.
wonder, like, do you go a Wilyer Abreu in the three, have him in right field,
Well,
Contreras?
real quick, I'm curious why you're, with lefty, righty, lefty. I would as if it were up to me, I wouldn't wanna touch the 2 through 4 that we have going with Sedon, Willier, and Wilson, and then I might stick Mead towards the bottom of the lineup and not ask him to do as much coming off the IL, you know? What are
I
your
mean,
thoughts?
you can do that. I just think Mead's a better bat. I love what Sadon's been able to do this year. I can't ignore the under the hood data, man. Dude,
Yeah.
it's bad. Like, it's really bad. And like, I'm sure that those home runs he hit this last series is going to boost him up because I don't think that he got shortchanged on any of those by like Mickey Mouse ballpark kind of home runs. But
Mhm.
like Don, like at the end of the day, like he's a guy who's very clutch. I still probably want him like in the 5 hole, like right around there. Like I want him with opportunities with runners in scoring position. Oh, this is a guy like who still doesn't walk a ton. He's managed his strikeout rate manageable. He has some of the ugliest chases I've ever seen in my entire life. Last
I
year, I was
wouldn't
expecting him to come through a lot in the playoffs, and he laid an egg, pure pumpkin. It's
Yeah,
like I trust Mead's bat profile. Like right now, he is a better hitter.
fair. So we're at Sedon at 5 and then go from there?
Yes, I'd say so. Because yeah, like what Willier in the three, Wilson the four, the Don in the five. I'm trying to work through the rest of the order. Because see, like then, because if you put Durbin in the six, that's a lane of righties. I'm sure they want to throw a lefty in there somewhere. Like who would
Yeah.
be? Oh, Duran in the six, and then Durbin in the seven. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I'm forgetting Adley. Adley's on this fucking team. Good.
Yeah,
Oh my
maybe
god.
Adley at the 5 makes a lot of sense. I think that
Yeah,
was
Adley
Loomer's
at the
take when it
5.
first happened.
Like, Adley at the 5, Sadon at the 6, Durant at the 7, Durbin in the 8. Oh,
And then that 9 spot is our shortstop. What are we doing there?
either Arias or Story. Me personally, it's Arias because Trevor Story. Like, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I've done this is probably like my sixth, seventh interview I've done with a Barstool person. That's the first soundboard we've hit. That's electric. I love that.
Yeah, I love this thing. It makes me tremendously happy. Yeah, I just love
Yeah, a little tip of the cap there.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah,
all right. So then, sort of more importantly, and the more nuanced part of this question, who are our 4 bats off the bench? Because there's going to be some names that you got to leave off the list that are tough to leave off the list.
it's tough because obviously they traded for Eli White, so I don't think he gets DFA'd. Moss is going to be on the bench. That's 2. Story's going to be on the bench because I don't believe in John Henry enough to DFA Trevor Story as he should. So he's going to be a name off the bench. That's 3 of them. Backup catcher Connor Wong. That's 4, and then the 5th one.
Unless I'm wrong, I think most teams carry 13 guys into the
Oh,
playoffs.
yeah, yeah,
So at that point, there's no room for Mona there.
yeah. That's tough, dude. Yeah, they got to make some really hard decisions here.
I
This is
know
a,
it's really tough to put together.
yeah, because like, can you get away with sending down Connor Wong and then Wilson Contreras is your catcher in an emergency situation?
Uh,
Right? Like that's not ideal. But like
no, I
also
don't think that's happening.
man,
Uh,
Connor Wong on your roster is fucking that's brutal. Like, especially if you're getting rid of Monasterio. Because like Monasterio's been raking. Like that guy's
he's
been
been
like
unreal.
very good player. And like listen, if Mead never gets back, then it's fine. You just slot Mana in at second, and then that's
Yeah.
fine.
But then Romy's not even sniffing that roster. Tony Siegel's goodbye. It's tough.
That's
There-
Bogart.
Yeah, Nick Sogard is just he's been awesome over the last week or two. And there was conversations about Massa potentially getting DFA'd like month or so ago when Roman eventually comes back. You don't think that's on the table anymore?
I just don't. I don't trust them to do it. Yeah. I think if this was peak Red Sox, 2013 era, where like money is no object, we don't care. We just care about first and foremost getting the best roster out there. Like yeah, Story and Massa would have been DFA'd like a year and a half ago. It's not. It wouldn't. It wouldn't even be a question. But like I don't trust them to do that. And they're like yeah, like DFAing Massa probably would make a lot of sense. Even though like as a hitter in the playoffs, I wouldn't mind seeing Massa. I mean, he's shown to be clutch. He's shown to be a guy who can give you a responsible at bat. He's just not worth the fucking money. This has
Yeah,
never been.
yeah,
Also,
that's a good
IKF
point.
getting DFA'd. There's no spot in this roster for IKF whenever he gets healthy. People haven't even
Yeah,
think, but yeah,
I think it's tough because like if you don't call up Arias and Trevor Story is your everyday shortstop, like I cannot fathom like that's just such a hole defensively, especially considering who like their backup would be like Mona or shifting Durbin over. That just sounds so scary for like the late innings of a playoff game. And to me, like IKF potentially has a role, but with only 4 bench spots and the guys that we were just naming, it's just it is so difficult to put together. But that's not our job. We'll see what happens.
like I've seen what happens to teams that make the World Series with IKF as a bench piece. They lose.
That's a really good point. That's a Coley point. Um, uh, Next question. Fuck Cam Schlittler. Uh, Next question after that. So, as we said before, Will Fleming, awesome. Both the Wills, awesome. Lou Merlone, awesome. OB when the team is doing well, awesome. As somebody who plays a similar role for this team in the space of announcing, you said before, like you look up to Will Fleming. Do you ever like tune into those calls and like do you ever pick up things from OB, the Wills, Lou? Like do we ever take notes? What are we drawing from them?
I try not to like take notes or try to take their terms of speech, their turns of phrase, because then I'm going to come off as a hack who's like trying to copy. Like I appreciate them 100%. Like I try to like take cues in terms of what kind of energy I should be showing. But like like obviously from a guy like a Lou Merlone, like yeah, I want to be able to like emulate relatability, knowledgeable without seeming like a gigantic dork. Like he
Mhm.
does that perfectly where he strikes that balance. And obviously he has the benefit of he was a former player as well as that that kind of qualification. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
I
I
know.
started
He's
posting
got
up
the athlete voice. Like he could be talking about like the most nerdy shit in the world, and like he's just an athlete out there.
exactly. And honestly, when I listen to the games for the most part, or when I call the games, I usually don't even have my headphones on. I usually keep them off. I only put them on for the really big moments to make sure that I'm locking in. Just because I
Yeah.
don't want to like accidentally like repeat what any of the guys are saying there, just because like it's in my conscience, like my brain. I get the forward
Wait,
brain.
so to focus in more, you would listen to the announcers just to make sure you're not like losing any information.
I want the sound of the game, like fucking in that moment, or like if there's like a challenge where I'm like, I don't know what's happening, I need the sound, you know.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that would I mean, credit to you. I can't imagine, like, trying to, like, have a full monologue that's, like, not necessarily the same as what's going on as here, but still, like, using all of that information, but, hey, that's why they pay you the big bucks.
That's the thing is, usually when I have the headphones on, I can't even. Usually I can't hear what they're saying. A couple words will drift through here and there, but I can't really hear their major points.
Going back to, like, how you came up in the Red Sox Twitter world doing the announcing, just take us through, how you first started to gain momentum, how you got onto Section 10, how you got onto Barstool's radar, and then where we are now.
Well, I started out in 2021. I've been podcasting since 21. Like I started like that halfway through that season. Like there was a podcast called The Pesky Report, which still does exist. It's a whole new cast now compared to what it was back then. They picked me up. I was with them for 2 or 3 years. And then I started Pod by the River because of conflicts with the dude who ran the Pesky Report at the time, who is no longer there, funnily enough. He actually Pesky Report Twitter account, very funny. And I started because I realized I wasn't really growing. I was like, okay, like I need to find my niche somewhere. And like I'd seen like guys, calling the games like on the internet or doing watch longs. I'm like, well, no one's really doing that for the Red Sox. What if I just do that? So, I started that 2 years ago. The 24 season was my first season doing it. And I think I averaged like like 3 viewers a stream. If that like 3 to 5 viewers a stream. If I had like a stream where there was like 12 people there, I'm like, holy, like that's
Holy cow, yeah.
um, there's some real numbers going on here, kid. And last year, I started to gain. There was the first year I really started to gain a little bit of traction. Like I remember at the beginning of that year, I had maybe 2 or 3 thousand followers on Twitter, and then like by the end of 25, well, not till the very end. The very end exploded. But for most of that, like I remember, like before I got hired by Barstool, I got myself to 12,000 followers on Twitter, and I was so happy about that. Like I went down to Boston for the first time. Not the first time since like I had a platform.
Mhm.
And I was getting recognized like every 5 feet. It was insane. I remember
That's so sick. That is awesome.
it was so awesome. Like I remember I was there because I was there with my mom and my grandma. I went to the ticket booth like to get take the tour, and dude's like, "You Hogdale?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like I did the tour, and the tour guy was like, "I follow you on Twitter."
Yo, that is aura. That's so sick.
It was genuinely insane. And then like obviously like I met a bunch of the radio people. Like I found out like Will's like, hey man, I love your shit. Like here's my phone number. I met Mike Monaco, all the Play Tessie guys. I talked with Jared there. That was the first time I met Jared in person. I was at one of the games. He invited me up onto the Green Monster, and I talked with him for 3 innings. Uh,
That is so sick.
the Section 10 thing. Jared's known me way before like everyone else has. Like way before 99% of my audience has. He found me when I was on the Pesky Report, dude. Like when I was
Wow.
pod that was maybe getting a couple hundred listeners a month. Where like he knew who I was then, and because he liked my commentary at the time. And so like I remember he followed me, and I'm pretty sure he followed me before I even started doing the streaming.
Yeah,
And
to be honest, that doesn't shock me with how like like he grasped onto people like T, and like he's got a couple other like young content creators that he's trying to like throw some gasoline to, and he's just like for better or for worse, he's got his finger directly to the pulse of like everything social media, Red Sox, him, like he sees it all.
100%. Like no one's more locked into their community than Jared is. And like I know like there's a lot of like people in the Barstool audience that like have like weird feelings towards him or resentful. I can't state enough how good of a person Jared is. Like he's just an amazing guy. He's always been there, like being the wind underneath my wings, trying to boost me up, giving me advice, featuring my calls on Section 10. Like he didn't have to do any of that. Well, when you get to the level that that guy is at, like where you're the top dog in the space in terms of like baseball content, he could just go fuck off and do his own thing forever without paying attention to any other person, and no one would even blame him. But Jared goes out of his way to lift people that are low in the community that he thinks are talented, and I will always have a deep appreciation of him for doing that for me.
I think what illustrates that best is like the decision to like start their own company, and like him bringing his guys into it and taking care of them and making sure everybody like stays under the same content umbrella, because he could get so much more for doing so much less if he wanted to, but his priority is to the Sox content and to his guys that make great Sox content. So just the community is better for it.
In an alternate universe where Section 10 is never put back together, I'm actually his co-host, funnily enough.
That would be unreal. I would love to see
It's
that.
he told me about that because like he was gonna grab me from Pod by the River at that time. He was gonna be like, "Hey man, don't care what you're doing. You're gonna go do a pod with me and T now," which is funny. I found that out afterwards because Tyler told me about that. But yeah, in another universe, fucking that would have happened. But
In
hey, I
another
made my
universe. Well, maybe in 2 universes, because it was leaked that like he almost came back to Barstool when the whole thing was happening, and you were already here at that point, right?
yeah, he almost came back. He told me about that actually.
Yeah, so almost twice. At this point, we're due.
We're due, 100% we're due.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I got hired because I mean, Dave saw my call of game one, the Sox winning game one, Chapman closing it out. I was like, it was probably my best performing clip ever. It's the clip that got me hired. He saw it. He's like, "Oh, like I hated our live stream in the cave. I want you to go to New York and call the games for us, like within the New York cave." And like he literally, it was like at 10:30 where I was at. I like when I saw that on Instagram, and like he booked me on the flight. I was on a flight at like 5 a.m. the next 5 or 6 a.m. the next morning, and then I was in New York and they hired me on the spot.
Wow, that's insane. The Barstool difference. I love to hear that stuff. I see a lot of myself when you talk about like your path in terms of like we're growing a little bit, but we need to start catching fire in our favorite niches, and then we go from there. And then to see it come to fruition for you like that is unreal. Hoping to follow in your footsteps. And on a similar note, what do you have any specific visions for like your future? Is it just like continue exactly where we are right now and grow it to as big as can be? Or are there any other paths that we're looking at? Or tell me about it.
I mean, moving to Chicago is absolutely on the table for me, or even to New York, just one of the Barstool hubs to go hang out with a lot of
Hmm.
the content creators and boost my profile. I mean, like, I'm not dissatisfied where I'm at right now. Like, just like right now, I have like the best gig ever. I live at I live at home. Like, I work from home. I make enough money to where I can support myself and like indulge in whatever hobbies I want to do.
Hmm.
But, like, I, to my core, am ambitious, and, like, I see the dollar signs down the line. I'm like, "If I play my cards right, man, I could make a fuck ton of money. I could set my mom up. I could set my dad up. I could set my friends up. I could set everyone up around me if I play my cards right."
That is I absolutely love to hear that. That is so sick. I'm rooting for you. Um, Final question. A big part of what we do over at this program. I love fantasy football. I love talking ball. Can we do a quick Pats fantasy preview?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Awesome. Real quick. Speaking of you and the Pats, just awesome to see you at the Super Bowl. Unfortunately they lost, but like, what was the number one favorite experience or favorite moment from that experience?
Dude, it was so fun. I mean, the best moment is, I got to do a live show with Dave, John Gruden, and Jerry Thornton, and, that was so cool. Like, I told, like, Gruden afterwards, like, "Hey, man, it was an honor sharing a stage." Like, that's a guy, like, I watched, Monday Night Football as a kid, like, every week. Like, that's a guy, like, where, like, admire him so much as a broadcaster, like, just uber talented, super charismatic, and he does look like he wants to murder you when you talk to him. That is true. His eyes do be doing that.
I mean, you can tell you drew inspiration from him. Sometimes when the Sox are the bases are juice, Fenway's rocking. Sometimes you get that same look. It's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So back to the Pats. We will do this through a segment that we like to call "What do you say to the people who say?" So, what do you say to the people who say that AJ Brown is a ticking time bomb of sorts, and it's just at a certain point it's going to fall apart, and so the drops at training camp aren't necessarily great for that timeline.
Maybe the tiniest dick on planet Earth. maybe, like anyone who has that opinion, legitimately. Like, I don't know, man. Also, like, the drops, isn't, like, that now an outdated narrative? Because I've seen him, like, the last couple of days of training camp, like, he's Drake's, like, hitting him in stride, like, he's dotting him up. You
And
can't
then
there's no
then
one
what
who
do you say to the people who say that that means Christian Gonzalez washed?
you're dumb. Like, you're just a dumb like, it's just, like, I can't imagine, like there's no argument to not paying him. That he isn't paid yet is honestly a disgrace to the entire organization and sport. Even Bill Belichick paid cornerbacks, man. Like, Bill Belichick paid, Stephon Gilmore a mega bag. It's time to do the same for Gonzo, like, easily.
All right. What do you say to the people who say that Ramondre Stevenson is going to be too involved to allow Travion Henderson to become the fantasy player that a lot of people want him to be?
I'm scared they're correct. Because the thing is, like, because Travion stepped up in that offense and got so much more play because Ramondre got hurt. Like, it was a little bit of underperformance, and then he also got hurt. I'm interested to see because, like, Travion's got to figure a way to, like, one, not be the worst pass blocker in the history of humanity. Like, that's what keeps him off the field too often because the Pats love using running backs in that role. Also, got to find his way more into the receiving game. Ramondre really took a step forward last year in the receiving game. Like, he was just a straight up receiving back last year at points, doing a great job. Like, to me, Travion's talent is undeniable. And you know, if the thing is like, oh, he doesn't have great vision and like he can only run through wide open holes. Well, the offensive line is way better than last year, so there's going to be a lot of wide open holes for him to run through.
All right. Noted. Uh, what do you say to the people who say that last year's playoff run was a preview of what this offense is more likely to look like this year with a lot more tough defenses on the schedule and
It's just
how that might impact fantasy?
like, no, dumb person. I'm sorry. Like, you just like it's that's such like a single brain cell take, you know, like where the offense is fundamentally different. Like, last year, your number one receiver was Stephon Diggs. This year, your number one receiver is AJ Brown. Last year, your number two is Kayshawn Booty. Now your number two is Romeo Dobbs. Booty's your three. Like, Hollins is your four. I think honestly, like, if Eli Raritan is as good as people are saying he is in training camp, he's a significant upgrade over what Hunter Henry was last year, which in my opinion, he took a pretty significant step back based on what I expected of him. The offensive line is going to be better. Like, to me, that's the biggest thing. The offensive line in the Super Bowl, especially, shockingly bad. It was Will Campbell legitimately put
Yeah, I
up.
was gonna say we can name names here. We can say it.
Yeah, Will Campbell had. Well, it wasn't just Jared. Oh my God, Jared Wilson at left guard was unbelievably terrible. Like, they were the true blowjob brothers in terms of just the worst offensive line left side you could see ever. But now Wilson's a center. That's his natural position. You're going into year two of Will Campbell. So we're like, even if he's shaky, he's going to be healthier and he has that experience. And also, ideally, has hit the weight room more and is more built into a grown man body. Elijah Vera Tucker, extremely athletic. As long as he stays healthy, is going to be a phenomenal guard for this team. I I like your depth as well. Like, even if one of your tackles gets hurt, I like Caleb Lomu like quite a bit. I think he's big. I think he's athletic. Um, yeah, I don't see it. Like, I think that if the Patriots had not significantly gone out of their way to improve the offense this offseason, that would be a valid take. But like, it's a different team offensively. It's so much more talented in every single way.
All right, that's awesome. I'm not into the weeds enough on the Patriots O line to have an opinion. I think you sound right. You sound very right. I love the confidence. So like I believe you. We'll end on a positive one. What do you say to the people who say that AJ Brown is being underdrafted and could go as high as like the high to mid second round in fantasy drafts?
It's it's tough because of how stacked wide receiver is any given year. Like, in for the NFL, like, obviously you go to guys like Jamar Chase. Like, to me, like, whenever I'm playing fantasy football, like, I have a draft has never gone wrong for me when I got Jamar Chase ever. Like, he's just like the beacon of consistency. Like, he's gonna put up number one numbers. Um, like, obviously people are gonna look at Justin Jefferson, even though like he had kind of a down year last year. I just have a hard time believing that Kyler Murray is gonna be worse than fucking 9 was last year for that team, dude. Um, I mean, yeah, like, I think you can justify AJ Brown going super high, but like, I'd go with like the much more consistent types first, like a Jamar Chase or even like a CD Lamb, just because for a fact, like these guys are like the beacons of consistency, and like there's zero injury risk to them. Where AJ, there is the lingering question. I'm not super worried about it, but it does exist of like maybe this guy's ankles are back. You don't know.
Yeah. Final question, just a small programming note I thought of. What happens, because I don't think this was in the timeline last year. What happens if a late game Sox game interferes with the Patriots weekly game that week? What's going on there?
It depends. It's the answer is always it depends. Because the thing is, the Patriots game usually will supersede because there's less Patriots games than there are Red Sox games. So therefore, like if I miss this one Red Sox game, then it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things because there's another like 30. Also, like I'm the type of guy where like maybe like I'm doing one, but I also have the other one pulled up to the side where like we're gonna check in very frequently. But like if it's like the Red Sox like magic number to clinch is like one, or something like that. Like I think I'd have to tune into the Sox game primarily. In both situations, I have both up on the screen. I would.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like a stream with announcing both at the same time. I would. I'm not even a Patriots fan. I would tune into that,
That's
especially with
Kevin Harlan thing.
the
I'm calling both games.
especially with just like the flow of baseball and the flow of football. There's there's dead time where I feel like you could maybe piece it together a little bit and make it work. But that would be electric to see.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's the announcer
regardless,
equivalent of like the Subway Surfer gameplay, like underneath like the actual topic of whatever you're
yeah,
talking.
no,
Just information ADHD overload.
yeah, double the stim, keep it coming. Yeah. Anyways, regardless of how that shakes out, so excited to see the Red Sox down the stretch, to see you call the Sox down the stretch. Thank you so much for hopping on today. This was awesome. And go Sox, man. Big game tonight. Ranger Suarez bump day for all who celebrate.
Go fucking Sox, kid. No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.